Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, we're gonna say Call Halayim Law Yahweh. Salakia. We're gonna say Call Halayim Law Yahweh. Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Ba'ashem Kakadash. Double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. They really teach well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect that spread the truth throughout the four winds. It's your brother Shamar. Come back for edification of scriptures. Today's lesson is going to be on the Edomites' counsel to cut off Israel from being a nation, and pretty much everybody outside of the Edomites. All right. So this is the book of Psalms, chapter 83 and verse 1. Keep not thou silence, O Yahweh, hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Yahweh. For lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up their head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. Alright, so what did it say? It say that the enemies of the Most High have raised up their head. Alright, meaning they have started to move. They started to be on the move. Alright, we know that the Edomites hate the Most High. Alright, they hate the Most High. Alright, they hate everything having to do with God, because that birthright was taken from them. And now they're spiritually the tail, and Jacob is spiritually the head. Not just that, Esau is just a perverted person. So their whole life they gonna go, regardless they gonna go astray. What does it say? They go astray from birth, speaking lies. All right, that's just in their nature. And this isn't speaking unto every single white person, every person that's classified as a Caucasian. All right, because we know it's gonna be Israelites that look like the so-called white man. All right, we call them the speckled birds. All right, because Israel is mingled among all nations. It comes down to if you obeying the words of the Most High. That'll determine if you are Israelite or not. If you obeying the words of the Most High and keeping the high holy days as an Israelite should, and keeping the law, statutes, and commandments as an Israelite would. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may no more be in remembrance. So Esau, the so-called white man, the elite bankers, and the heads of these different countries, when the NWO, the New World Order, or the one world government comes into play, they're gonna try to cut off the nation of Israel. All right, the Edomites already done attempted to do this. The so-called white man, all right, he already attempted to do this by classifying all the tribes of Israel with different classifications as their nationalities. For example, the tribe of Ephraim is now the nation of Puerto Rico. The tribe of Judah is now the African Americans. All right, those are classifications and new nationalities. It say, remove not the father's landmark. All right, you can't change somebody's entire nationality and expect nobody to notice. All right, we know that all nationalities come from these scriptures. All right, this isn't just a spiritual book. This is a history book as well. So we know all nations stem from this book. And they not these classifications that's been put on the people that conquered them. So that's one way they done attempted to cut off Israel from being a nation. Now they're going to try with the sword. All right, they're going to try with the sword. All right, they're going to try with death. All right, they call it internment camps, FEMA death camps. They're trying to maintain the population because the country is overpopulated. There's not enough money to go around. The rich can't remain rich with the poor being inside their country, being taken care of. That's why Trump was voted into office, because he was giving the rich a tax break. All right, that's the main reason Trump was voted in, because he was giving the rich a tax break. While the other politicians, they was taxing the rich in order to take care of the poor. But yeah, they gotta keep the population under 100 million. The world population at 7 billion. They gotta keep the world population under 100 million to be self-sufficient. All right, so that's a lot of death. That's a whole lot of death. All right, that's that sword. All right, that's the Most High, but that's the Most High doing it. All right, we know that no harm is gonna come to the elect, the chosen. All right, when they attempt to do this. All right, but for the wicked and the ones that not observing the laws and observing the statutes and observing the commandments and observing the scriptures and rehearsing the righteous acts, they're going to be caught up in it and they're going to be put to death. Get a precept. This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 21 and verse 9. Son of man, prophesy and say, thus saith the Lord, say, a sword is sharpened, and also furbished. It is sharpened to make a sword slaughter, it is furbished that it may glitter. Shall we then make mirth? It contemneth the rod of my son as every tree. So it says, prophesy and say, meaning speak and tell the people that a sword, all right, is sharpened and also furbished. All right, when something's being sharpened and furbished, all right, it's almost like a serial killer got his hands on it. All right, he's polishing it, getting it ready for the slaughter. All right, somebody's polishing. So it says, warn the people that somebody's polishing a sword and get ready to use it on them. All right, it says, should we then make mirth? All right, no, we shouldn't make mirth. What is mirth? All right, mirth means joy. All right, so should we be going out having fun when somebody's sharpening a sword for us? No, we shouldn't. We be getting prepared for it. It's better to go to the house of mourning than in the house of mirth. All right, so you want to go to the house of mourning. All right, you want to be observing these scriptures. All right, why? Because you got that eyesight. You got that wisdom. All right, the ability to foresee the destruction, to foresee doom. All right, to foresee death. You wanna observe these scriptures so you can see so you can be on the Most High good side, so He can so he could save you in that day. In that day. All right, but who is that? Who has the sword? All right, who has the sword? All right, the Edomites, the so-called white man, the president of the United States. All right, they got a sword. All right, they got death camps, guns, bombs, famines, pestilences. What you got? You got the CDC. All right, they gonna use all of that in order to exterminate the people, in order to kill the people off. They just got sword after sword after sword. They got weapon after weapon after weapon. And they gonna use it on their own civilians. But this is Ezekiel 21:11, and he have given it to be furbished, that it may be handled. This sword is sharpened, and it is furbished to give into the hand of the slayer. All right, who's that slayer? All right, the slayer is Esau, the so-called white man. All right, so the sword is being sharpened, all right, for the white man's use. All right, for him to establish his kingdom. But we know that he's never going to be able to establish his kingdom as the top of as the everlasting kingdom, because it wasn't sought out for him to do that. It was sought out for him to take over the world with wickedness, so the Most High can throw him down. And that's what we gonna see. We gonna see him try to set up his kingdom as an eternal kingdom, and then the Most High gonna throw him down. But I hope this lesson was edifying. I'm gonna close it out. I'm gonna say, "Call Allah Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim HaKakadash." Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom.